Hello friends, welcome back to my channel Siddhnath Nishanda. Today we see important relations used in IC engine numerical problems and some interesting facts about the engine, about car. Today we are going to focus the concepts of power and efficiency. Okay, because the internal combustion engine powered vehicle is one of the greatest achievement in human history. The design has been perfected over 150 years and become the most popular power plant for all the vehicles. Okay, so no one challenged around 150 years that designed engines. Just we're going to modify the basic concept. So it is the best power plant ever we seen. Okay, today we see now the different powers. Okay, before starting to the our today's topic, if we see this picture, okay, if we supply that 100% energy as a fuel energy, okay, that is the mass of fuel and the calorific value, that is the heat input we supply to the engine. If we see that distribution, okay, that is the standby and idle is around 17%, accessories consumes 2%, engine losses is around 62%. Okay, and while the engine is developed at the crankshaft and that power is transmitted to the rear wheel, okay, that delivering losses is around 5 to 6%. We developed the power around 19%. While delivering that crankshaft to that rear wheel, okay, so the some power is losses, that is the delivering loss is around 5 to 6%, and we get the power is around 13% only. Okay, when car is moving on the road, there are different losses also. There are frictional losses, drag force. If you heard the word the aerodynamic shift, okay, it is that word, it indicates it minimizing the drag force. Okay, so if we see that losses around aerodynamic drag is around 2.6%, the rolling resistance that is the 4.2%, and the inertia while the braking is around 5%. These are interesting facts. We see the efficiency is around only 13% of power we get out of the total power. Okay, let's start with our first, the brake power and the concept of indicated power. If you see this figure, okay, the indicated power, the arrow, what it arrow indicates, the indicated power, the power developed inside the cylinder. Okay, the power developed during combustion, or it is the power developed in the cylinder, that is the indicated power. Okay, and the power available at crankshaft we call as a brake power. Then what is the difference between indicated power and brake power? Let first starts with the first power, that is the brake power. I written as a formula of brake power 2 pi nt upon 60 into 1000, that we get the power in kilowatt. Okay, the power if we generally define as the rate of doing work and is equal to the product of force and the linear velocity, or the product of torque and angular velocity. Okay, then the force or torque is measured with the help of some dynamometers. Okay, maybe rope brake dynamometer or the hydraulic dynamometer, and the speed is measured by the tachometer. So the brake power formula is 2 pi nt upon 16 to 1000. Okay, if you go through that rope brake dynamometer, if we conducting experiment in the IC engine lab, okay, if you see that engine shaft have attached to the one dynamometer, this is the rope brake dynamometer. Okay, in that case the formula becomes the brake power is equal to W minus S into pi dn upon 16 to 1000. We can get power in kilowatt. Then what is W and S? Where W is the dead load attached at the end of rope in Newton. If we see the W here, the load attached at the end of rope in the Newton. S is the spring balance reading in Newton. If you see the spring balance reading, S. Okay, D is the mean diameter of the brake drum. Okay, wheel diameter of the brake drum diameter, that is the D. And the N is the speed of engine. So if you're conducting experiment in the lab, these are the parameters you can get from that hydraulic mechanical row brake dynamometer, and this is the brake power, and this is the power available at crankshaft, and this power is differ from indicated power. Okay, brake power is always less than indicated power, because what the power available at the during the combustion, that power, same power we can't get at the brake power, because this power is lost while during the various friction losses, and that causes is that the pump losses due to suction and exhaust, the mechanical losses in bearing, resistance of air to flywheel rotation, and most important thing, we get the engine power, because we see IC engine, there's only one source, that is the rotary power, that is the crankshaft. We can run all the various parameters while through crankshaft only, that is due to the power that is given to the drive, the unit like fuel pump, governor, oil pump, and the water pump. That power is consumed by the various systems in the car. So the brake power is always less than the indicated power. Okay, if you see the another dynamometer, that is the hydraulic dynamometer. Okay, I told the concept of indicated power. Okay, before that indicated power, if we measure the brake power with the help of hydraulic dynamometer, okay, then the formula is brake power is equal to Wn by K. Okay, well, W is the net load applied on engine in Newton. Okay, N is the speed of the engine in RPM, and K is the dynamometer constant. That is the constant for that hydraulic dynamometer. Okay, this is if you take the reading on the hydraulic dynamometer. This is the few concepts how to calculate the brake power and the power available at the crankshaft. Now we see the concept of indicated power. I just told now the power is developed inside the combustion chamber. Okay, at the end of compression. Okay, that if a spark is produced and that heat energy is converted, okay, into the mechanical energy, that is the indicated power, that power available inside the cylinder. Okay, then how to calculate indicated power? The indicated power is equal to K PM L A small n upon 16 to 1000. If you get power in kilowatt, how you remember? I would use Kaplan. If you heard the turbine, Kaplan turbine, like that we remember the formula like that, Kaplan upon 16 to 1000. Okay, now where is the K? K is the number of cylinder. K is the number of cylinder. PM is the mean effective pressure. Okay, that mean effective pressure we calculated from that indicated diagram. You heard what the indicated diagram, mean effective pressure. L is the stroke length. You heard the L is the stroke length in meter, mean effective pressure in Newton per meter square, number of cylinder. A is the area of cylinder in meter square, that is we calculated by formula pi by 4 d square, where d is the bore diameter, and n, small n is very important. Small n is the number of working stroke per minute. I again repeat, small n is the number of working stroke per minute. Okay, now n is equal to capital N for 2 stroke, and n is equal to n by 2 for 4 stroke. Is always remember that, because we know that the 2 stroke engine, in one revolution we can get 1 power stroke. Okay, but in case of 4 stroke engine, in 2 revolution of crankshaft we can get the 1 power stroke. So that is the n is equal to n for 2 stroke and n is equal to n by 2 for 4 stroke. That is the indicated power Kaplan. So hopes you understood now the brake power and indicated power, how we loses the power at the developed power and we get some power, that is the brake power. Hopes you understood this concept, brake power and indicated power. If you see these pictures, okay, the brake power is around 25 to 40%. Heat is lost via the conduction, radiation, exhaust heat. Okay, is around 20 to 45%. Some fuel energy losses during coolant lubrication and the oil heat loss is around 10 to 35%. Friction and pumping loss is around 2 to 10%. If you see this graph also, chart also, okay, so you can get the effective output is around 0. If you see this graph, 0 in between 0 to 20%, and if you see the graph is around 13 to 16%, that is the effective output from that internal combustion engines. This is the interesting fact, or the fact means we can get only, our system is only capable to develop or the convert only few amount of energies. Okay, then we see the frictional power. Frictional power is nothing but, is very simple, it is the difference between indicated power and brake power, that is the frictional power. So frictional power is equal to, it is difference between indicated power minus brake power. So you can get the what amount of power loss in the friction, that is the frictional power. Then we see the next concept, the efficiencies related to IC engines. The first efficiency is the mechanical efficiency. The mechanical efficiency, the formula is the brake power upon indicated power. Okay, number of students know the different form of efficiency, they knows the formula, but they fails to what is the purpose of that efficiency. What is the indication? If you calculate the mechanical efficiency, the student fails to told what it indicates. They know formula, it is brake power upon indicated power, but they fails to indicate what is the purpose. Okay, I'm going to tell is very important the purpose behind the efficiencies. The first, the mechanical efficiency, it is the ability to transmit the power. Okay, see here, it's the ability to transmit the power developed in the cylinder to the drive shaft. Okay, what amount of power developed and what amount of power we get, that is the ratio. What we achieved, that is indicated, and what we get, that is the brake power, and the ratio, this is the mechanical efficiency. Then next is the indicated thermal efficiency. I write the formula here. Indicated thermal efficiency, N suffix ITH, it is the ratio of indicated power upon mass of, it is the ratio of indicated power to the mass of fuel into the calorific value. What it indicates now, it is the ratio of heat converted into indicated work. Heat converted into, if you see, heat converted into the indicated work to the heat energy supplied. Heat energy supplied by a fuel. Okay, I again repeat, the heat converted into indicated work. We know that the heat energy is converted into the mechanical work. That we told that heat is converted to indicated work to the heat energy supplied by a fuel. That is the indicated thermal efficiency. So what is the purpose of that efficiency? It is an ability of the engine to convert the supplied heat energy into indicated power. Okay, if you know the engine, if you see the engine, what is the input? The mass of fuel into the calorific value. What that amount of energy we supply to the engine, that is the chemical energy, we call as a chemical energy. Mass of fuel plus calorific value, and that energy is converted into the first indicated power. The power is available in the cylinder, or the power developed in the cylinder at the end of combustion. If you take the ratio, what amount of power developed and what amount of we supply, that is the ratio, indicated thermal efficiency. Okay, it's the ability of the engine to convert the supplied heat energy into indicated power. Then next term, the brake thermal efficiency. Okay, I write the formula, brake thermal efficiency, brake power upon heat energy supplied by fuel. Heat energy supplied by fuel. Okay, so what is indication now? What is the purpose of this efficiency? It is the ratio, okay, heat converted into useful shaft work. Okay, brake power is nothing but we know that it is the ratio of heat converted into useful or shaft work to the heat energy supplied. is the indication of an ability of the engine to convert supplied heat energy into brake power. Okay, what amount of energy we supply and what we get, that is the brake thermal efficiency. And previous formula is the indicated thermal efficiency, what amount of energy we supplied and what amount of energy we produced. But you know that that energy when we convert into at available at crankshaft, some are frictional losses. If you see again indicated thermal efficiency, what energy we supplied and what we developed, that is developed energy is indicated power, but actually we get brake power. We know that now because some energy loss during frictional losses. So brake thermal efficiency is what energy we available at crankshaft to the what of energy we supply, that is the brake thermal efficiency. Then we see the relative efficiency is very simple. Relative efficiency is the ratio of indicated thermal efficiency. Okay, indicated thermal efficiency. If you see ITH, N suffix ITH, indicated thermal efficiency, to the efficiency at ASE. Okay, that is the relative efficiency. That efficiency is usually in the range 0.6 to 0.8. Okay, this is the standard efficiency. If you see the AS is the standard efficiency, we compare with the indicated thermal efficiency, that is the relative efficiency. And that is the overall efficiency. Next is the overall efficiency. If you see, it is the overall output. Overall efficiency is the overall output to the overall input. Now, what is the overall output? It is the nothing but overall output is the brake power. Okay, finally power available at the crankshaft, that is the overall output. And overall input is nothing but heat energy supplied by a fuel. Heat energy supplied by fuel. And the last and the very important efficiency is next is the volumetric efficiency. Okay, the volumetric efficiency, if you see, it is the actual, it is the ratio of actual volume of charge admitted at NTP condition to the swept volume of piston. That is the swept volume of piston. Okay, I can repeat, it is the actual volume of charge admitted at NTP condition to the swept volume of piston. Okay, if we see, if we consider what amount of charge enter in the cylinder, but in practice there is some losses. Why volumetric efficiency is always less? There is some factors. If you see, this is this factors. Volumetric efficiency depends on first heat transfer through the cylinder walls, resistance offered by the inlet valve to the incoming charge. Because if you see what are the speed of the engine, at very less time it suck the charge from the surrounding. Okay, so there are some restrictions to suck the charge, like that heat transfer to cylinder walls. If you see, there is a continuous combustion, so the inlet valve, that manifold is continuously hot condition, so that air will flow over that manifold, its volume goes on increases. So what we consider that amount of volume we can't get every time, because the resistance offered by the inlet valve to the incoming charge, heat loss to the cylinder wall, heat transfer to the cylinder walls. The average value of this efficiency is from 70 to 80%, but for supercharged engine it may be more than 100% if the air is about atmospheric temperature is forced into the cylinder. So guys, hopes you understood these different efficiencies and the powers. Okay, in that description I am sharing that notes of that point, so hopes you can understood this concept. Those students still not subscribe this channel, please subscribe. Thank you very much.